justify it. They didn't have time to take care of it then when he was committing the crime and violating a no trespassing order. They wait until he's out of the park and doing nothing at a public library to arrest and detain him for a trespassing order half an hour before. That's a violent crime. That's not sitting in a park.
That's why it's going to jump for criminal trespassing.
The difference is one's a violent crime, one's not. Violent crimes are to be pursued at all costs.
I never said it was the same thing.
Well, that's why I'm saying if you're giving me a hypothetical situation,
okay,
please give me something that's equal to each other, not something where the scale's going like this.
Okay, I feel like I've explained the whole circumstances enough that it should make sense. What part is confusing to you?
He wasn't in the park when you took him into custody. He was sitting at a public library.
He doesn't need to be in the park. Once an officer sees him there, that establishes probable cause.
Was he given paperwork on being criminally trespassed out of the park?
You have his name. We will pull it up. Officer Stewart said that there was an order served. We will look it up. It's public record. Look it up online to see that he did have an order served against him. Because if that's the case, okay. But if all he was issued was a verbal warning by the citing officers and not a piece of paper stating that, then there is no trespassing order.
All right.
What's the officer's names?
Officer Stewart.
What did you ask him?
I asked him why he was being arrested for something he did at least half an hour ago when
officers were present.
When they had the opportunity then. Why the officer who saw him earlier had to leave and go get more and come back. That makes no sense to me. And they could not explain it to me. And they tried to give me a hypothetical situation. Trespassing versus robbing somebody. Really? That's a huge difference.
Yeah, one's a violent crime. One's a violent crime, the other one's a bare misdemeanor.
You know, and when I told him, if you take a child and watch them do something wrong and not say anything and come back to them at least half an hour later and say, okay, you're in trouble for doing what you did half an hour later, the child's not going to understand what's wrong.
What was
After
the
I told them
explanation?
that, they had nothing to say.
What was the explanation for why they...
Now they had time to deal with the crime. Before, when the first officer who saw them when he was doing nothing, they didn't have time. Now, apparently, they have time.
He has a right to ask for badge number and the name of commanding officer. Very good.
Here, let me get a picture of that card.
Not even fucking doing it. Wait, they're gonna be back fucking rolling up on us like
Yep.
What's the name of this officer?
Officer P. Stewart.
Let's take a look.
He'll be back out. Yes,
okay.
This is the name, location, agency, and contact phone number for the arresting officer. His name is P. Stewart, and he is from the City of Kent Police Department.
I wanted to start laughing.
Okay.
Here, would you like this?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, so when I first approached the police officers and I asked them why they were arresting my friend after he was in the clear, at first they said that I don't need to understand. And when I explained that I am a citizen and I have a right to understand, they told me that I wasn't the one being arrested, so I didn't need to know. And again, I kept pushing and said, no, I am a citizen, I have the right to understand. I want to understand this for me. And so after that is finally when they gave an explanation, which it was explained earlier, which was horrible. I'm Blueberry, by the way.
And so,
yep.
And then Dakota knows very well about this type of thing because it happened all summer, and I was there last time we filmed this.
This happened to me too. They said they gave me a trespassing. It was a verbal warning, and they had me sit in handcuffs. I just think it's all stupid. I'm tired of the police harassment with the cops.
And so this is just another incident that you guys go through fairly frequently.
Oh yeah, daily basis.
If somebody's not getting arrested, then they're getting harassed.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the two. I mean, you can't sit at the library and where the smoking place is for more than 10 minutes without cops coming over and saying you got to leave. The other night we were with Slim, and they told us all to leave. We weren't doing nothing. We were all sitting there talking while we were smoking a cigarette, waiting for the feed.
The church feed? And
The Samoan church feed.
yeah, and they just moved you guys all along.
Yeah, they told us we had to leave the library grounds to smoke a cigarette.
Interesting.
You know, like the entire grounds. Like that's retarded.
Yeah. Mikey got arrested too for they stopped a group of people because they were all rolling cigarettes and passing the tobacco. Apparently everybody was selling weed, and so they all got stopped and they all got their name or their names ran. And a friend of ours got arrested because he had a warrant, but he was unlawfully stopped. They were rolling cigarettes. It was obviously tobacco. Okay, and apparently it was weed though.
Like, you think homeless people can afford fucking packs of cigarettes? No, we roll them.
Right?
See another homeless person? Hey, can you spare a cigarette? Yeah, dude, if you can roll it.
We take butts out of ashtrays and make re-rolls out of it.
What are those called?
Snipes and re-rollies and yeah.
Cigarette butts we find are snipes, and cigarettes we re-roll or re-rollies.
So, and then so this happened yesterday, and then of course what we just saw. So that's why you guys got to be careful.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep in touch with you guys.
Yep.
Go ahead, Gandalf.
My name is Carl Gene Halligan. Out here on the streets of Kent, people refer to me as Gandalf. I've been homeless for a while. The Kent police don't like me very much, evidently, but I was just walking across this, what they call the water park. It was right near, it wasn't quite 5 o'clock, it was getting dusk, and a police officer rolled up on me and told me if I wasn't moving, he threatened to put me in jail for trespassing because the park was closed. It wasn't dark. I know the parks in Kent are open from dawn to dusk. It wasn't quite dusk yet. There was still light in the air, and he was threatening to put me in jail. So I moved on, and no less than that, I walked in this library here and used the men's room. I walked out, and he was sitting right there, and he said, "Halligan, why are you still on this property?" I said, "You told me to leave over there." He said, "That means the whole block."
And did he say anything else after that?
I don't want to make a quote that I would be wrong in saying something, because that diminishes what is the truth. Because he told me to stay the hell out of the area. He told me to leave. He said, "You live in Auburn. Go back where you go."
But you're homeless.
I am homeless.
And you're stage 4 cancer.
I have. If she wants me to say a little bit about my story, I have pancreatic cancer. Look, I still have my most recent hospital band on. You can't hear it, but that's a pocket full of medicine. Those won't shake. I have a backpack full of medicine. This is putting me in debt because I can't get coverage from anybody. But the city of Kent won't even open up an emergency shelter. This is irritating. I'm sorry, folks. This is irritating because they won't even help those that actually have documentation that need a little bit of help. Don't let me sit out here another 24-degree night, please. If the city council sees this, I'm just asking you, please do something to help the individuals that are stuck in this situation. It's a wheel, and it hurts. I understand there's the scammers and the dopers and all the goodies. I understand that. But there are people out here, women and children, and I'm not referring to myself, but there are people out here that are sick and they need help. And all that I can see, and I saw it again this morning right there, is that people are being hindered to getting even on their knees, let alone back on their feet. They're being They're being cut off at the knees. It doesn't matter what you try to do, the police are going to sneak up behind you or magically appear, however you want to look at it. And they're going to do what they can do to get you out of here. They don't care what happens to you. They don't care where you go. Just get out of here. We don't care what help you need. Leave. It's wrong. I'm a United States Marine Corps combat veteran. I have taken bullets for my country. And I've done it proudly and honorably. And there are other people out here. There's a young man out here, a very young man, who just came from duty in either Iraq or Afghanistan, and he can't get any help at all from the city to help get him off of this road. This is the most detrimental thing you can possibly do to somebody by keeping them, oh, we're not going to help you, but we're going to chase you over there. You get your little, you start to get set up a little bit where you're starting to learn some things about what you might be able to do, starting to work on some things, and the next thing they know, they will criminal trespass you. They would probably do that to me if they rolled up right now, but they'll trespass you, admonish you from an area so you can't go back there. So you run out of places you can go. That's how they're trying to get rid of you. That's one way they're trying to get rid of you. There's a whole bunch of things that need to be looked into in the city of Kent. I'm aware of what just happened at Seattle Police Department by the federal agency to look into them. I don't know if it needs to be federal or not, but Kent needs the supervisory people of the judiciary area of this city need to take a look at what's really going on. There are a bunch of, and I'm not talking kids, I'm talking about there's a bunch of kids out here that need help. They don't need to be run from here, run over there. When you're trying to get your things together and you're just simply being railroaded right down the tracks to somewhere else after you're trying to get your situation under control. And some of these people out here are really trying. They need help. I'm not asking for myself. I'm asking for these people out here that need help and are truly trying.
So do you know where you're sleeping tonight? Yeah.
No, I don't know where I'm sleeping tonight because they run you off from everywhere. There's a church down here that gave me permission to sleep by their kitchen area back there. It's out in the cold, uncovered, but they gave me permission to lay there. And I believe it was night before last, the police came through and told me, look, you can't be here. And I thought that it had to be a complaint from a business owner. It's not posted anywhere, the Kent Code or the RCW, nothing about not being there. And they ran me off at 4 o'clock in the morning. And it wasn't 0 degrees, but it was pretty darn cold. And so I ended up walking around the town, and then they harass you. What are you looking at? I'm not looking at nothing. I'm standing here bent over because I hurt so bad from this cancer. I'm standing here bent over trying to breathe. Move on. I'm telling you, I understand the need for police and justice, but I don't understand their need for harassment of people that need help. There are people out here that are jerks. I'm not going to try and get around that. There's people out here that way. But there's people out here that are trying to get their lives back together. And the police are putting their foot right in the middle of their paths. All that does is hurts these people. Give them a hand up. Quit knocking them down, please. Thank you for your time.